And thank you very much for joining us here today. I want to thank all of you for coming out on this beautiful morning, and I want to thank Metro and Radio Springfield for hosting us here today. Before we get started, I want to recognize that yesterday we found out that Senator Rich Pauls passed away. Senator Pauls was a dedicated public servant who was committed to improving Omaha, first as an educator, then as an elected official. And I ask that you all keep his family in your prayers, and the community of Millard as well, as we grieve for his loss. And I'd ask that we also take a moment right now to remember Senator Pauls. Thank you very much. Today we are here to celebrate landmark legislation that will have a generational impact on the city of Omaha. Now, the vision for my administration has always been to grow Nebraska, create more and better paying jobs for our kids and grandkids so that they stay here in our state and can attract people from other states to come here and help us grow. And we have seen that through this pandemic, Nebraskans have taken care of each other. Nebraskans are resilient. And we've had a strong pandemic response. It's being recognized nationally. And that as we've come out of this pandemic, Nebraska is in a strong place. We have the lowest unemployment in state history, as well as the lowest unemployment rate in the country right now. In fact, we've got more Nebraskans employed today than we've ever had in the history of our state. Nearly 20,000 more Nebraskans are employed today than pre-pandemic. But we can't be a healthy state if every Nebraskan doesn't enjoy the growth and prosperity. Being a part of growing Nebraska shouldn't depend on the zip code. And that's why we are here today to talk about our communities that have been disproportionately impacted through this pandemic. Now, in my administration, we've taken steps to invest in North and South Omaha. Specifically here at North Omaha, we've opened up our Department of Economic Development office. We've opened up an office for the Department of Health and Human Services, North Omaha DMV, and pulled together community leaders to talk about economic inclusion. And today we've got a number of leaders here to be able to talk about this bill that will have generational impact, LB 1024. We've got to introduce this bill, Senator Justin Wayne. One of the key advocates for this bill, Senator Terrell McKinney. Yeah. Right behind me there. Yeah. Right, Senator Wayne, you clearly have to work on your crowd. You're like somebody in the crowd, like, you introduce the bill, don't make applause, There we go. We're also joined by Senator Mike McDonald and Senator Tony Vargas. Let's give them a round of applause. And we're also joined by retired from the U.S. Navy, Jose Combs, who is the president of Pacific Engineering. And Pacific Engineering was a key part of that response, that pandemic response here in our state. Pacific Engineering manufactured the pods that helped us set up the temporary testing, such as we had on the campus here at Metro Community College. So they were a key part of helping us do the testing as part of our pandemic response. So thank you very much, Admiral Combs. We appreciate you having him. So let's give him a round. LB 1024 is a culmination of a lot of work. No legislation is easy. Every legislation is difficult to get passed and requires a team effort. In fact, you might say an Army or maybe a Navy admiral, right? And it requires a lot of work to be able to get that done. And I want to compliment Senator Wayne and Senator McKinney for the effort they put into getting this bill passed and building that coalition to get it passed. It started with the groundwork that they laid. Senator Wayne brought to me earlier this year a book, it was about that thick, of all the work they had done, laying the groundwork for how they were looking to invest the money they wanted to have allocated to them through ARPA and through the rest of the state budget. And I got to tell you, I was incredibly impressed by the amount of work that went into that and the planning, the thought that went into that book. And I'm sure that is also what impressed his colleagues on the floor of the legislature when Senator Wayne was making his request for LB 1024. All in, LB 1024 will invest $336 million in North and South Omaha and other qualified census tracts. That bill will have generational impact. It will invest in affordable housing, infrastructure, crime prevention, financial literacy, job training, education, all the things that go into making sure that we are developing the full talent of all of our people here in the state of Nebraska. It truly was an effort that required Senator Wayne to work with his colleagues and put in a tremendous amount of time to make it all happen. And so I'm going to ask Senator Wayne to say a few words. Oh, now I got to start all my speech over again. Thanks, President. Now I got to start the whole thing over again. So I'm going to ask Senator Wayne to say a few words, Senator McKinney to say a few words, and then I'm going to ask Admiral Combs to say a few words, and then we're going to do the ceremonial bill signings for the folks that are up here, and then also I've got a long list of people. Again, I mentioned this was a team effort. This was an Army, a Navy, whatever you want to call it. There's a number of people I want to recognize as well with a ceremonial copies. But before we do that, I'd like to turn it over to Senator Wayne.
This is a historic moment for North and South Omaha. And there's two things that I think about when I think about standing up here and the impact that we're going to have. One is reflection. Senator Paul sat right behind me, and Senator McKinney will recall, right when we put out our plan, Senator Paul stood up and said, this is what we have to do. We have to invest in North and South Omaha. And about 6 or 7 times throughout the year, even though the bill wasn't up, he would randomly get up and say, you got to invest in what McKinney and Wayne are talking about. And knowing that we lost him yesterday, he didn't get a chance to vote on this bill. It's a tragedy, but I do. His support, I think, led the charge on the other side of the aisle to bring people together to have this conversation with the Revenue Committee and everybody else. So I want to thank Senator Paul, and my prayers are with his family. But it's also a time for a reflection of people who stood before us. And many people out here in the crowd are people who stood before me and helped me along the way. Everywhere from Senator Matthew Ricketts, who was the first African American, to Senator Chambers, to Brenda Council, to Senator Tanya Cook. All of those stood before me, and I stand on their shoulders. And it's not just African Americans. Dan Lynch, who was my senator when I was growing up, is the one who kind of inspired me to get involved. So I think it's a time for reflection to reflect on our past and how we got here and make sure we uphold and honor those who helped us get along the way. Today is also a time for celebration and hope. This is the first time ever that our state has invested this amount of dollars into our community. It's historic from that standpoint, but it's also a little scary because now the work begins. It was actually kind of fun passing the bill. Now I'm actually nervous about what's going to happen. And I want to stress this, we'll never get an opportunity like this again if we don't use these dollars wisely, efficiently, and effectively. And one of the main people that I spent a lot of time talking to about this is Admiral Combs. He came down and testified and was willing to bring 100 jobs into the North Omaha Airport District that they're looking to build immediately. And it's that kind of business-minded plan that got us across the finish line. We recognize that we're not going to be able to social program our way out of our issues. It's going to come down to jobs, good-paying jobs, and entrepreneurship. And that's what this plan is about, and that's what we're focused on. So I want to thank Senator McDonald, Senator Vargas, who's not here, Senator Linehan, Speaker Hilgers, Senator Wishart. These are all the senators who helped build this coalition together to get this across the finish line. And I'll be remiss to say I want to thank Governor Ricketts. Governor Ricketts and I sat down in his office multiple times, and his issue was, find a way. If you find a way, I'll sign it. It was never an issue of no, it was, you got to sell this to your colleagues, and I'll sign it when it gets across the finish line. We had a lot of blunt conversations about where the money's going, and we did put together a plan that everybody signed off on. It passed 45-1. So I'll end with this, because we got a lot of people we're going to give these bills out to. The real work begins now. And we owe it to each other and future generations to come together, put a plan together, execute this plan in the most efficient and effective way we can for North and South Omaha. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Wayne. Once we got into the interim, we began to meet frequently. He went to Africa to go to Kilimanjaro, but even during that time, I would get random emails at 4 or 5 in the morning saying, with a bunch of ideas. And when he came back, we kind of hit the ground and we tried to meet with everybody that we could in the community to formulate a plan that would work for the community. And it was one of the things that drove me to run for office, is to change the economic landscape of North Omaha. Because as somebody that grew up in this district, I've seen the years of lack of investment or investment that didn't work. And I wanted to get in office to try to change that, to try to change the trajectory for other individuals growing up in this community that, so they don't have to go through the things I had to experience growing up. And that's why I did all I could to work with Senator Wayne on this bill and meet with people, go in tense meetings, and do all the things that were needed to do to try to get this bill across the table. And I would also kind of repeat what Senator Wayne said about Senator Pauls. He was the main one every morning. Are you and Wayne working on that bill? What are you and Wayne doing? Every time. So I would also send my condolences to his family. He would greatly be missed in the legislature and in the state because he was a great man. And I just want to thank everybody that came and supported LB 1024, came down to the legislature, kept emailing us, calling us, giving us suggestions and ideas because it helped. And I also would thank the ones that did come before us, Senator Chambers, Senator Council, Senator Cook, and all the others that began to lay the groundwork in the legislature that allowed for us to be able to get this bill passed and across the finish line this year. And we do got a lot of work to do. We already been meeting and just like, man, we got it. Now we got to execute. And I think that's the fun part because it adds more motivation to myself and Senator Wayne to make sure we do execute. And I would like to thank, Senator Wayne's staff, Trevor and Janita, my staff, Mike and Dominique, for being there to listen to us. We had hard days and good days. And I again just thank you all. Thank Councilwoman Johnson for always being there and willing to work with us and give us ideas and suggestions as well. And I look forward to working with you going forward. And again, thank you all for coming out today. Thank you, Governor, for signing the bill. Thank you, Senator Vargas, for your support. Senator McDonald, Admiral. Thank you all, and thanks.
Well, good morning, everyone. You notice they've handed me the baton. That's important. I want to say thank you for being here, Governor. All the senators supported the bills. Some of the remarks that we're going to make have been said. It's the beginning. It's the start. It is up to us to continue this legacy. Therefore, PEI has already started. We will be opening up the first phase in August, September of this year, starting the transformation to make this a reality.
The second part, as the industrial area takes off, we will build a larger facility. We are currently located in Roper, just south of Lincoln. To many people's surprise across the U.S., and we just had this question yesterday, we talked to someone from Stratcom and found out that we were from Nebraska. The conversation changed. As we look to bring more work as a primary defense contractor, but more importantly, we are contractors spreading across humanitarian needs as well. It has been mentioned about the pot. Yes, we brought it here first, and we said right away. Now, we took that concept to Washington, D.C. So some of the models that were shown there, it was using the pod built by PEI people from here. So they got that idea. So it is only right for us to continue to lead, not be second, but continue to lead. So we accept this baton to move forward. And how appropriate to be here at this college. As we walk through the construction, we look to build off of the skill sets of the citizens here, the students here, to bring those jobs not only to Nebraska, but if by chance they decide to go out, but remember they would have started here. With that, I'm not going to delay the program because admirals be long-winded, not me. But I want to thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to the citizens here, the council personnel here, we'll get to know each other. But we are deeply honored to be part of this great event. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Admiral, and thank you, Senators, for all your work on getting this historic bill passed. It truly is a historic bill that we have signed here into law that will invest so much into North and South Omaha. I also want to thank Tony Goins, my Director of Economic Development. Tony, where are you? Not only does Tony do a tremendous job for the state of Nebraska, but he also had input into this plan and worked on a number of different projects with regard to the infrastructure on North 24th Street and everything else. So thank you, Tony, for your input into this overall plan as well. So now what I'm going to do is go through and sign some of these bills for the board. We're going to start with the folks that are up here. And of course, it is absolutely appropriate that we start with the introducer of this bill and the person who shepherded this through the entire process. And I think that this is a key demonstration of never underestimate Justin Wayne. So Sarah Wayne, please sign, accept this copy as a symbol of all the fantastic work you've done today. And of course, another key advocate to make sure this thing came across the finish line was Senator Terrell McKinney. Senator McKinney, will you please accept one of these? All right, next, I'm going to present one to Senator Mike McDonald, who is up here on stage with us. And Senator Tony Vargas. All right, so there are no other senators who walked in while we were doing this, right? All right. Okay, good. Just want to make sure we didn't miss anything. All right, then I'm going to now present one to, again, a key person who was part of not only this bill, but our pandemic response, Admiral O.C. Combs. And thank you very much for the investment in Nebraska and in North Omaha. Okay. And Mayor Stother is not here, is that correct? We have one for her in case we need it. All right. Well, as I mentioned earlier, it is always a team effort to be able to get any of these bills passed. It requires a lot of folks, whether it's in the legislature or all the folks who support the work that's being done to put together a plan or advocate with their elected officials. And as I mentioned, one of the key folks who helped make this happen was my Director for Economic Development, Tony Goins. Tony, will you please come up and accept a signed copy? Then I would also like to call up Willie Barney from Empower Network. Empower. Oh, you got the memo of the color tie. Good job. Great job. Next, I'd like to call up Chris Rogers from the Douglas County Board. Next, I'd like to call up City Council Member Juanita Johnson. Then I'd like to call the Mayor's Chief of Staff, Thomas Warren. Next, I'd like to call up the Vice President of Pacific Engineering, PBI, Dexter Myers. Great job, Dexter. And then also from Pacific Engineering, Austin Hills. Austin? And now, one of the projects that will get money out of LB 1024 is the Standing Bear film. We've got 3 people from there. First of all, I'd like to call up Kobe Koash. Can we film right here? Oh, just right down the corner. All right, and then also I'd like to call up Jan McCoy. Jan McCoy. And, actually, we've got 4 people from the film. Sorry, we got updated. Lauren Anzalone. Lauren? And then also we've got, wait, we've got Warren and Lauren. Which one didn't come up yet? Okay. He jumped in front of you. Make sure he hears about it when you get home. All right, next I'd like to call up somebody who has been a key partner, not only for this, but for the state, Carmen Tapia, President and CEO of North and South Omaha. Another person who has helped us on this project, specifically on the North 20th Street project, is Lavanya Goodwin with North Omaha BID. North Lavanya. Okay, so next I'd like to call up Jermaine Jones, who's the Chief Career and Navigation Officer at Boys and Girls Clubs in Midland. Another person we need to recognize is Tim Clark, Community Relations Manager here at Metro Community College. Okay, I know we've got some other folks here. I'd like to recognize, I saw Johnny Rogers in the audience. Johnny. I suppose we should recognize Randy Schmazel, who's the president of Metro Community College. He's here. Randy, thank you for all your great work. Let's also recognize Soraya Wayne. Yeah, look at that. Let's recognize Preston Love Jr., founder and CEO of Last Road House. I'd also like to recognize Michael Green, President, founder, and CEO of Evergreen Capital Management. Did he not make it? Or see it? Well, give him a round of applause anyway. It's okay. Come back on. All right. Well, how about is Frank Hayes, President of Hayes and Associates here? Not here either. Okay. How about? Okay, is Rupert here? Did Rupert make it? Oh, we can clap for him too. Though. Yeah, give him a round of applause. Is that here? So we do a lot of Barney here. How about Reverend Ralph Lassie? Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Reverend Ralph Lassie. We'll train you on this yet. All right. Let's see. How about, do we have Doris Moore here from the Center for Holistic Development? From Best Burger, we've got Candy Zolokoffer. Did I pronounce that right? Okay, so James Carway, Senior Economic Development Coordinator for Omaha Public Power District. James. Danelle Nair, Director of Community Diversity and Inclusion, Greater Omaha Chamber. Is Manuel Cook here? Spark? Manuel Cook, Spark? You can clap for him anyway, it's okay. How about Winsley Duran, Executive Director, Reach Program, Greater Omaha Chamber? Monique Ferrier, Avant Solutions. Monique here? Oh, give her a round of applause anyway. I know we've got Pete Festerson of the Omaha City Council here. And Danny Bagley of the Omaha City Council. And then is Keith Station, City of Omaha. All right, Trinity, Justin, was there anybody that I missed? Wait, do I have another page here? Trevon Brooks, absolutely. Come on up. Thank you. Oh, BC Clark. BC Clark here. Yes. Precious McKesson. Alicia Shelton. Anybody else want to recognize? You want to follow up? Okay.
Angelita, Trevor, Jake, Dominique, will you guys come up? This is the staff that put everything together for us.
You all get one, absolutely. I think what we're gonna do is stand here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get a picture with everybody. Sorry, shake your hands, so you hold that one. All right, now take the picture. Oh, and clap. All right, I think we recognize everybody, as you can see, by the numerous people we had come up here. It is always a team effort to get all this passed. And I just want to thank and congratulate. We made one more, sorry. Okay, we got anybody else? Dan, oh, Dan, come on up, Dan. Going once, going twice. Sold, all right. So again, I want to congratulate Senator Wayne, Senator McKinney on this historic landmark legislation and getting this passed. Again, as you saw from the people who came up here, it is always a team effort. And I know that they worked very, very hard on the plan, laying the groundwork ahead of time, working with their colleagues on the floor of the legislature to get this passed. They had the support of a huge number of people in the community to make this happen. And we should all give them both another big round of applause. And thank you all again today for this celebration of this landmark legislation. And I look forward to seeing all the great work that so many people will be doing to be able to invest in North and South Omaha. Thank you all very much and have a great rest of your week.